Tzu Chi conducts a distribution as Buenos Aires struggles with an influx of poor immigrants into the city. Beginning on July 1st, Taiwan's government begins to limit single-use plastic straws. I'm Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Thank you for joining us. Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, has seen a doubling in the number of poor households in the past 3 years. Many areas are little more than muddy roads and tin shacks, populated by immigrants who are largely unemployed. After paying an initial visit to these households, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a winter distribution. Some areas in the capital of Argentina can be quite backwards, as many from Paraguay have settled into this ghetto area to live and work odd jobs. Tzu Chi conducted a winter distribution in this location, where there are a lot of unemployed people.
I came from Taiwan to this countryside for nearly 20 years. I know that the people in this community are very kind, but are very poor. It must be common to encounter Tzu Chi volunteers who have come to do this work. I feel very happy in my heart. I am very happy. If there's a chance, I would like to follow and join Tzu Chi.
Spreading blessings has made everyone very happy. Tzu Chi volunteers in Argentina present these goods and do a sign language song performance. The materials sent during this distribution are just what are needed in the winter. Warm blankets provide warmth for these children. Within a week, 2 winter distributions will be completed as many new friends and acquaintances have been made on this Bodhisattva path. In mid-June, the state of Texas in the United States suffered heavy wind and rain due to a tornado. Tzu Chi Texas Branch previously cared for the community of Wharton last year, which was affected by a Category 4 hurricane. This time, they continue to follow up with care and compassion, helping affected residents get through this difficult time. Heavy winds and rain ravaged Texas, destroying many homes.
The rain started getting, my son-in-law said, you need to get out here and look up at the sky. There's rotation headed this way.
After the heavy wind and rain, the Tzu Chi Texas chapter held a distribution for those in Wharton affected by Hurricane Harvey. Those affected residents will never forget the kindness of Tzu Chi.
You guys were coming back, the foundation was coming back to give us a helping hand and give us a boost. And I was most grateful for it. You met a lot of needs, be surprised about it. You met a lot of needs for the people at that time. You know, everybody was down and in despair.
I'm currently helping coordinate the core program that you have for the long-term Harvey disaster relief. Just Do It Now and Tzu Chi have partnered together to assist the residents of Wharton for more relief.
With the distribution of aid supplies, many people feel blessed. Also, these affected residents have made donations to their coin banks to help spread the love to more people in need. While Master Zheng is in Taichung, Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers came to meet her and told her about their activities, such as spreading vegetarianism. One volunteer told the master that her father left their family for another woman and later formed a new family. When her father became sick at the beginning of the year, she took him in and cared for him until he passed away. She finally forgave her father and even donated her inheritance from her father to Tzu Chi, making him an honorary board member.
Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers came to tell the master stories. Volunteer Xiu Lu, who is the head chef in the cooking team, makes people laugh with what she says.
Master, I want to show off something to you, our cooking volunteers. They are our treasure. Do you know that? They are durable, tough, and last a long time. Do you know that?
Many people join Tzu Chi after they ate the delicious vegetarian meal she cooked.
I don't cook the same meals every day. I will tell them no that the meals are flexible.
Volunteer Isabelita Ann did not know how to cook at the beginning, but now she is an expert in making vegetarian zongzi.
I heard the master saying, be attentive, so when I learned it, it was difficult. I even dreamed of making zongzi in my sleep.
是轮转，发轮就转，所以恁相知吼，就是互大家人食着欢喜，那欢喜呢，搁再团发，发轮就转。
Volunteer Elsa Lee's father left the family when she was young and formed a family with another woman. But when her father became old and sick, she did not complain about it.
When he became sick, I didn't complain about what he'd done to us. I told them if they wouldn't care for him, I'd take him and care for him. He now lives in a faraway place.
行孝行善是不能等，何况呢，行孝呢更是应该的事。用爸爸的钱啊来为他造福呢，这是有智慧。
The four former and current CEOs of Tzu Chi Philippines chapter are also here together, making a vow with everyone else to the master that they will spread the Tzu Chi's great love to every part of the Philippines.
The Indonesian capital of Jakarta is a place where many rural people dream of getting rich, but many of them are now finding it to be a very expensive place to live. One Tzu Chi care recipient family includes a wife who suffers from asthma, but her medical fees are too expensive. The husband is also advanced in age and can only scavenge to support the family. They became a Tzu Chi care recipient family 5 years ago and regularly attending Tzu Chi free clinic, which has helped the wife's condition.
Bending forward, 70-year-old Usu places everything he scavenged in this tiny area near his home. He is very protective of these items because they can be sold to support his family. His 51-year-old wife, Salima, suffers from asthma, and her medical fee is expensive. In the Tzu Chi free clinic in 2014, they received Tzu Chi's assistance.
At the beginning, I never thought that my sickness could be cured. Then Tzu Chi gave me free treatment, and I'm taking medicine. My condition is improving. I feel I should become healthy again.
The couple doesn't have any health insurance, so it's expensive for them to see the doctor in the hospital. Tzu Chi gives them medical assistance and recently also a living stipend, allowing Salima to see the doctor.
After 5 years accompanied by Tzu Chi volunteers, Salima's condition has become better. But recently, her husband seems to have fallen ill, so the volunteers came to visit them again.
When we came to visit them recently, Yusuf told us that his back hurt. It could be caused by him bending forwards for a long time. So the living stipend we gave them will allow them to get therapy in the clinic. I heard that he must go to the clinic 3 times a week.
Before the volunteers leave, they remind this couple again of their support.
A Dharma master in Myanmar is taking care of orphans associated with ethnic conflict in northern Myanmar. With the help from overseas Taiwanese businessmen and Tzu Chi volunteers, they were able to build a new dormitory for female orphans. It took just 8 days to complete the sturdy and rugged housing for these orphans. Unlike the traditional houses in Myanmar, this group from Malaysia is quickly assembling a building with a stainless steel frame. It is rugged and doesn't even involve many screws. It is durable and can be assembled quickly, as just 8 days are needed to build this female dorm.
We just began to accept female orphans and didn't have enough room for them in the wooden dormitory. When numbers increased, they had to sleep in a simple bamboo hut.
Dharma Master Yu Wen Nita founded this orphanage in 2011, mainly to host children from the ethnic fighting in northern Myanmar. Now there are more than 300 children here, with a female dormitory only being a simple thatched hut made with bamboo and thatch. Even local villagers were worried about these accommodations.
In the past, we learned that bamboo thatched cottages were not only unstable, but they can also catch fire easily, leading us to worry about these children.
For many years, Taiwanese businessmen have supported this orphanage school, and Tzu Chi volunteer Wen Silang often came to care for them. He knew that Tzu Chi could come and take care of the construction, with overseas Taiwanese businessmen contributing the concrete flooring. A group of 12 Malaysian volunteers came at the end of March to assist in this cross-border cooperation.
Building this for them allows them to have more space and a better quality of life. This makes the whole environment a little better. Now that we have built it, many people can fit inside and it is clean and tidy.
In addition to building a dormitory, Tzu Chi and the overseas Taiwanese businessmen cooperate to distribute stationery, other daily use items to these orphans. By showing their compassion has really improved their lives.
Staying here for a long time led me to learn everyone is very kind. But because there is no improvement, we know that the overall environment is not very good.
In a wealthy environment, one doesn't know how to cherish things. But here the residents receive a few things they feel blessed. After the war, these children are now trying to get on with their lives, with volunteers helping them feel more at ease.
Today we take a look at Taiwan's use of plastic straws. Annually, some 3 billion are used, which may provide temporary convenience to consumers, but comes with a major environmental cost. Beginning on July 1st, the government has begun to limit single-use plastic straws as a means of reducing waste. The new policy going into effect impacts restaurants and many businesses who are also trying to educate consumers to be more eco-friendly by choosing alternatives to plastic straws.
This small action of using a plastic straw for drinks is a convenience, though it has a large impact upon the environment.
Oh, man.
If these items reach the ocean or another natural environment, the sun or other internal factors could break them into smaller microplastics. This could enter the food chain for other organisms and gradually impact other species, and eventually one day impacts our own bodies.
In Taiwan, some 3 billion plastic straws are used each year. With a length of 25 centimeters, this could stretch around the world 19 times. The fast food industry is trying to make a major change. One leading fast food company is retiring the now familiar yellow and red straws. They're simply turning to lids that can be used for drinking. Switching from straws to these special lids allows for a 16% decrease in plastics. It's also a major switch, as cold drinks can be directly drunk by consumers.
We are not only trying to reduce the number of straws, but also a new activity where we encourage people, not only at home or outside, to give up the use of straws. We want them to change this habit.
Switching totally from a dependence upon straws can be difficult, but concerns for the environment have led many businesses to work hard to make the switch.
At the beginning, we tried a dozen paper straws from different suppliers, as well as metal straws. We tested their strength and how they can be used.
This international hotel began the switch in October of last year. It has since completely banned plastic straws. This means it has reduced use by some 300,000 per year. This reduction of plastics is not only a sign of support for the environment, but also follows government directives. The EPA proposed ban of single-use plastic straws has garnered support amongst government agencies, schools, department stores, and fast food restaurants.
We believe that these regulations and how they affect businesses that cooperate will allow us to dramatically reduce single-use plastic straws. We believe that in the beginning, we can reduce about 100 million plastic straws.
The new government policy going into effect will see the EPA review the results each year. We'll also try to set 4 targets, together limited to delivery and takeaway food items. It wants to set a milestone. In 2025, disposable plastic straws will have to be paid for by the consumer. By 2030, businesses are not allowed to provide it. But environmental groups believe that such a plan is too slow compared to the EU, which in 2021 banned the use of 10 disposable products. Many believe stricter control is needed to prevent these items from going into the environment.
To improve children's character education, a Shenzhen Tzu Chi volunteer started to teach Jingsi aphorisms in the first grade. After some time, the grades in moral education topped other classes in the same grade. Parents even sensed a change for the better in their children.
These children, guided by their parents, walk over a bridge built with chairs while being blindfolded. They are a graduating class of Taoyuan Experimental School of Shenzhen University Town, and they are learning Jingsi aphorisms through this game.
If I were more careful and more cautious, I wouldn't encounter those problems. I could avoid them and ask for help.
As these students will go to junior high school, this will be their last class on Jingsi aphorisms. Their teacher, also Tzu Chi volunteer Han Limin, has invited the parents to feel changes in their children.
Some parents would argue over their children's studies and also become anxious. They wanted the children to take this lesson or that lesson. But after they have learned the Jingsi aphorism, they reflected on their family lives and felt that it is important to nurture their kids' character.
These graduates have learned Jingsi aphorisms and also show their gratitude to their teacher and their parents through such actions.
If you want to raise your children, you must nurture their minds. If you teach them to have a good character, then you don't have to worry about your children. I'm not so anxious about my child's character education because he has changed much, and it makes me feel wonderful.
Every time he feels down, or when he encounters problems and wants to withdraw, or when he is mistaken about something, I always remind him to think of good things, not to think about bad things. Then it can help him be less agitated, and we adults will also feel better.
Parents and the teacher witness their children's growth and wish them well in their next stage of studies.
Tzu Chi volunteers in New Taipei City cleaned the home of a senior living in Xizhi. The home was almost unlivable, and after many attempts, the senior finally gave the okay to allow volunteers to carry out the cleanup. Let's check on the progress of their work.
I was shocked to see how many things were piled up in the home. The whole bed was covered with items. How does she sleep? How does one live in that kind of environment? Plus, there were cockroaches everywhere. You can see them crawling all over the place, all over her body, her feet. It wasn't just a one-time thing. We saw it many times, every time when we came to visit. The first time that I saw the cockroaches crawling on her, I couldn't physically remove them or take photos. I wanted to respect her sense of dignity. She was very nonchalant about the whole thing. She didn't care much about the cockroaches. It's as if she was just used to it all. Although it was the case, but that actually made me even more sad about her situation. Their habit is collecting a lot of clothing and then just piling on top of each other here. Then, when they need to wear something, they would come here to look for an outfit. Many times, they would just take the pieces on top. So actually, many of the clothing on the bottom are all moldy.
All these old and moldy clothes are all useless to them now, so we will recycle them, leaving behind the clothing that they can still wear.
The first step is to let her guide us to where we can actually do some cleanup work. The places where she doesn't want things moved, we will not move anything. It's been years in the making, slowly convincing her to let us clean up her home and sort through all the items that she no longer needs. So all this effort, we can finally start with the mother's room, one step at a time, listening carefully to her wants and needs.
I just think about how she can't clean up this by herself, so of course her home is in this state. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. It's normal that it will just keep accumulating.
I changed the original fluorescent light she had and put in a power-saving light bulb. This way it will be much brighter for the room.
It's completely filled underneath the bed. There are so many things. It's packed and it's all rotten. Even the plastic bags are falling apart. It's got to be decades since the things have been stored here. It's just amazing how much there is. I need a broom to get to the rest.
I told her, Grandma, why don't we seize the time we still have on this earth while we are still clear-minded to quickly clean up all these things in the house? I told her that this way she can live in a comfortable place. How the house is for people to live in, not for the boxes of things she has stored.
Because the walls have not been painted for a long time, plus there's long-term incense burning over the years, the water-based paint doesn't stick to the walls. The color will still peek through, so it's important to lay on a thick base layer and get the electric fan blowing on it right away. Then when it's completely dry, paint again. This time with an oil-based paint. This way it will stick and be opaque.
All the volunteers are very filial. They're all very filial to me. They treat me like one of their own parents, extremely filial. I told my child that we were in a bad place before, but now all these people came to help us out. When we get better later, we must also go help other people in need.
Malaysia Kulai Tzu Chi volunteers are promoting vegetarianism in their community, inviting parents and children from a local preschool to enjoy snacks made with Jingsa products. We'll leave you with this. Goodbye.